The next thing we got to do is we got to use the phone to make a phone call. It's still a very powerful thing. Even if you're just leaving messages. You need to check in with people, okay? You need to check in with people, and we'll talk about this in a second. And then last, is the tech. You want to use some tech. Oh, can I show you this? By the way, can I show you this? 20 years ago, I knew I was coming to Long Beach, and I knew you guys were close to, Hollywood. So I needed to find an illustration to communicate with you folks. So I found an illustration, and it was an illustration from my own past of my favorite television show. And this television show was actually the way in which I sold, and it was Inspector Columbo. Because Columbo was always pursuing what he was pursuing, but he did it in this kind of very generous and gracious way. And I wanted to have a generous relationship with my clients. I wanted to have I didn't want to be a hard salesman. And so Columbo would be there, and he goes, you know what, my wife and I were big fans of yours. We think you're terrific. Would you sign this autograph for her? We think you're awesome. Great. And then he'd go walking out the door, right? And then he'd get to the door, and he'd always stop. And he'd have this little phrase, oh, by the way, or one more thing. And that oh, by the way dialogue was what I used in my real estate career. And it goes like this. I'm having these interactions with my customers, and then before I hang up the phone, what do I say? Oh, by the way, That was really impressive, Long Beach, really impressive. Magic is going to be blown away with the energy in this room. Amazing. How many of you have some bills to pay? Can I see your hands? Why don't you say this in such a way that you might get a bill paid? So think about next month's mortgage with one sentence. I'm serious. Let's try it together. 1, 2, 3. Oh. Now I want you to do this. Now I want you to do it with a smile. One of the things that makes Magic Johnson unique is his father taught him to compete, but his mom taught him how to do it with a smile. So while he was kicking your butt, he was... Let me tell you, people want to have fun when they're doing business with somebody. Are you guys hearing me? So let's try this together. Only have a smile. You ready? You had a nice chat. You've talked to them. You've interacted with them. You've given them something of value. And then you finish up your phone call or your interaction or your coffee and you go, 1, 2, 3. Oh. See what happens. Try it out on your friends first because you'll butcher it to start with. You'll be like... Oh, by the fry, if you were giving a house away, if you knew someone who was, do you have another realtor? And your friends are going to go, you okay, babe? Everything okay? But the more you do it, the better you get. Are you guys with me?